Hey everyone, this is Blake with ACA Prime, and I'm here to walk you through filling out the updated template for ACA reporting for 2016. You can always view our videos, documentation, tips, and more at acaprime.com/ACA resources. The most recent version of our template can always be downloaded at acaprime.com/template or acaprime.com/excel. And the 2016 version of the 1095C and the 1094C can be viewed at acaprime.com/1095C or 1094C respectively. In the 2016 off-season, ACA Prime updated all of their processes and redesigned the template for 2016. Last year's template is still usable, but it is highly recommended that you use the most recent version because of the increased functionality built into the template. We have new color coding, which we will touch more on later. The template is all of your data in one place, which means if you have multiple employer identification numbers, or EINs, you can put it all in one Excel document. Also, this is Microsoft Excel, meaning that it has increased functionality that a PDF or CSV does not, like coding, which can help you with data entry. There are multiple tabs, not one super long row, which makes it easier if you have dependents or under a variety of other conditions. There's only one document that you need to work with, and that's this one. However, if you use our comprehensive full service or data compilation services, we do all of this for you, which would significantly cut down on work on your side for only a small additional cost. ACA Prime has a few services which are summarized here. The basic service has no automatic calculation, and you are required to put in the blue, green, yellow, light green, and copper fields. The full service includes the automatic calculation, and only the blue and orange columns need to be filled out, but gray columns may be needed as applicable. The data compilation services is where you would give us your raw data and we'll just do the rest for you. In both the full service and data compilation services, you'll need to fill out the onboarding tab as well, which will be described later. So if you haven't seen it before, this is the 1095C form for 2016. Each row in the employee information tab of our template is all the information to fill in one 1095C. Here is the 1094C for 2016. It is the summary transmittal. Each EIN within the applicable large employer, or ALE, will get a 1094C summary, and the data is taken from a different tab on the spreadsheet. Again, to download the spreadsheet, all you need to do is go to acaprime.com/template and click this link here. You can pause the video now if you would like to download our template before we start the tutorial so you can follow along. Okay, so let's get started. Currently, we are on the instructions page. This has all the information you will need to fill out the spreadsheet, but I will explain it to you here. Let's start with the colors. First of all, everything in blue, green, yellow, light green, and copper is information that goes onto the forms. The blue sections are ones you fill in, and the other 4 sections are calculated based on your responses and inputs into other fields like orange and gray. I'll walk you through it more as we move forward. If you're using our basic service, you will need to fill in all of the information that goes onto the forms. These are all 5 of these colors. This is the Employee Data tab. I will walk you through each column and what it means. Some columns also have helpful drop-downs when you're selecting them to give you more information onto what the column is. For example, Social Security numbers. The first column, Employee ID, needs to be filled out if we have a self-funded group. We use this ID to connect dependents to the employee. We suggest you just use the employee's Social Security number, but you may use another identifier as need be. Otherwise, it may be left blank. The next few columns, last, first, middle, name, and suffix, are that employee's name. The employee's Social Security number goes into the next column. We ask that for simplicity's sake, you use the dashed format throughout, but not having dashes is fine so long as you do not mix the 2 formats. The next few columns have to do with the employee's address and are fairly self-explanatory. The next column is the employer identification number, which corresponds to the company that each employee works for. This needs to be filled out whether you have one or multiple EINs. Part-time all-year indicator. If you offered insurance to a part-time employee that would not otherwise qualify for insurance, you would mark the letter Y here. Otherwise, leave it blank. In the next few columns, hire date, termination date, and waived are orange. We need these filled out for our automated processes. The hire date is when you took the employee into your business, and the termination date is when they were terminated, if applicable. A feature in this year's form is the highlighting of certain dates. For example, if they are hired or terminated at a date in 2016, the box is highlighted a dark yellow. Any date of 2017 or above is highlighted a bright red, so you know it may be an error with the data. If you have an insurance offered or insurance cancelled date, these next two gray boxes are where they would go. And if you have this information, it is suggested that you do. The waived field is asking if they waived insurance or not. This field takes a Y or N. The next dark gray columns should be filled out if they apply. Part-time to full-time date is applicable if the employee was part-time but became full-time recently, and full-time to part-time is vice versa. The next three columns have to do with COBRA and are only applicable if an employee went from full-time to part-time and started paying their full insurance. The first is the date the employee started COBRA, the second is the amount that was due for that individual, and the third is the date they dropped COBRA, if applicable. The next few fields of the spreadsheet are for your benefit alone. They allow you to work the Excel magic, if you would like, by using these fields for equations, variables, and more. Then comes lines 14, 15, and 16. Just a reminder that one row on this spreadsheet goes into one 1095C form. Lines 14, 15, and 16 can be automatically calculated based on the information you put into the spreadsheet elsewhere, but this is only done for the full service and data compilation services. This is all you need to know for employee data. Now, let's talk about employer data. We have 3 employers already in the Employer Data tab. I'll walk you through creating another to show you how it's done. Let's say the employer name is ABC Company. The Employer Name Continued section is rarely used, but it offers an extension to the amount of space you have. The EIN is your employer identification number. We'll say ABC Company has the EIN of 98-7654321. The address of ABC Company is 123 Alphabet Street. The phone, city, state, country code, and zip code are fairly self-explanatory, so I'll skip over those. This is where you would put self-insured, marked with an X, or fully insured, marked with nothing. ABC Company is fully insured, so I'll leave it blank. The contact first name, last name, middle initial, and title for ABC Company is Head of HR, John H. Doe. This should be the HR contact for the company. A quick reminder, while the 1095-C goes to the IRS and each employee, you may never see a physical copy of the 1094-C. It may just come to you in PDF form for your confirmation before it is sent to the IRS. Next is the aggregated ALE member column. This is easy enough. Essentially, if there are multiple EINs on this tab, each company is a member of the aggregated ALE group. In this case, the ABC Company is a member of the aggregated ALE group. There is a section for notes and a few flex fields that you do not necessarily need to fill out, but can do so as you wish. Also, if you fill out all fields, and would not like ACA Prime to update your information at all, you may indicate a Y in the lock data section. In most cases, you will leave this blank. The next few columns have to do with insurance offering rules for your company, if applicable. The first few have to do with if the company offers insurance a number of days after a hire. The ABC Company offers insurance the first of the month 60 days after hire, so we will put 60 in this column and Y in the next. The next few columns have to do with the employee required contribution. This is the lowest amount a single employee will be required to pay out of pocket for insurance. This may even change mid-year, which is what the next few columns are for. 22A, C, and D align to their respective spots on the 1094-C form. I won't be going into detail on what each option means, but 22A is the qualifying offer method, 22C is the section 4960H transition relief, and 22D is the 98% offer method. Put an X in any column that applies. ABC Company uses the qualifying offer method and the transition relief method, so we'll put X's in those two columns. The minimum essential coverage offer indicator often does not change, so it would be just an X for the entire 12 months, the numbers of the months if not for the entire 12, or left blank if it does not apply. The aggregated group indicator is an X if you are an aggregated ALE member, the numbers of the months if not for the entire 12, and left blank if you are not. And the transition relief indicator is an X, the numbers of the months, or left blank, but only applies if you selected 22C earlier. In the part-time employee count sections, we need the number of part-time employees for each month. This does not include anyone in a transition period. If you fill out this section, the full-time employee count and the total count sections can be automatically calculated by ACA Prime based upon the employee data and the part-time counts entered. However, just a reminder that the basic service does not get any automatic calculations, but the full service would get this calculation. One last section you should be aware of. The onboarding tab of the document may need to be filled out as directed, most likely by the clients that have chosen the full service or data compilation services. All instructions are detailed in the Instructions tab, but if you are having trouble with anything, feel free to contact us at 1-844-GET-1095 or info@acaprime.com. That's 1-844-438-1095 or info@acaprime.com. Thank you for joining me today, and we look forward to working with you.